Hi, Tiffanie Kellog here. Thanks for joining us for one of our interview series. As we're stuck at home with social distancing, it's an opportunity for us to learn more so we can earn more. Hope you enjoy.
All right, welcome everybody to How to Live on Less. Tiffanie Kellog here, joined today by Shawn May, who's going to talk to us about how to live on less, as that is a very hot topic right now with everything that's going on with social distancing and that stuff. So Shawn May was born and raised in Spring Hill, Florida, and he fell in love with business as a child. He founded his first company at 16 and started building his empire. At 18, he decided to follow in his father's footsteps and start his own financial coaching firm. Today, he is president of the Highest Point Coaching and manages 6 offices with a large team of agents. He is engaged to his fiancee, Laura, has 3 boys and a 4th on the way. Do we know that the 4th is a boy as well?
It is a boy.
So it's going to be all boys in that household. Poor Laura. All right. His passions include scuba diving, skiing, and spending time with his family. The mission of his company is to help families earn more income and become properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. Today, he's going to talk about the first steps in becoming financially free, creating and maintaining a budget. So, Shawn, what can you tell us about how to live on less?
The first step in that, as you said, is the solid budget. And so that is where if that part isn't taken care of up front, I have a list of about 20 other savings tips that anybody can implement. But if the budget isn't in place, those other 20 or so tips really go out the window. And so having a solid foundation is important. And so it's really, and it's a tough conversation for people to have with themselves. I mean, because ultimately you got to have the conversation with yourself first, and you have to, be honest with yourself and take a look at, where your money is actually going. When we're, talking, to friends and family, it's easy to say, oh, well, I really don't spend that much money here, or I don't really eat out that much, or I really don't buy that much stuff that I don't need. But, we get into these routines where, sometimes, it's just easy to buy stuff. We have everything's electronic, digital debit cards, credit cards, buying online. So it's very easy for a family or an individual to, kind of get out of control. So having a budget that, where you're allocating, a set amount of funds to different areas and sticking to it. So if you have a $200 a month entertainment budget, for movies and, going, maybe to concerts or stuff like that, you got to stick to that. You can't, get 3 weeks into the month, run out of that budget and then say, oh, well, I'm going to take some money from someplace else. That defeats the purpose of that budget. So number one, area, is having that solid foundation with the budget.
All right. And if somebody's having a hard time creating a budget or sticking to the budget, what are some tips that you have for them?
So, I think, the best thing to do is write it down. So, if you're having trouble, putting it together, I have a budget worksheet that I provide to my clients, but you can go online and find these. I mean, these aren't, proprietary documents. They're, it just, you definitely, if you're going to do one, the more detail, the better. And then the other thing I recommend doing is, you have that budget worksheet. Go onto your bank statement and print out, the last 3 months of your bank statements, and then really sit down and do a, personal financial audit of yourself. Look, don't just go off memory. The bank statement doesn't lie. You gotta, again, this is all about being honest with ourselves. So you have that, budget worksheet, in front of you, have those bank statements, and just go line by line and add up. And I say, about 3 months will give you a good, average, because, sometimes, we spend more, here and there, but, don't be afraid to do that. So.
All right. So we come up with a budget, and then what should we do?
Okay. So now once that is in place, I also provide a list of about 20 items in different categories, and so they range from general ways that you can reduce expense, financial ways to reduce expenses, housing, transportation, entertainment, and shopping. And so I provide that list, and I'm going to go through a few of these here. I'm going to stick to the ones that really are going to apply to the current events. Some of these, some of the tips that I share do require a little bit of an upfront investment in order to save money on the back end. So I'm going to kind of skip over those because I know people are a little, are strapped right now. But just starting with some of like the general tips. And so one thing people here a lot of restaurants are closed, and so I know we all want to support our local businesses and stuff like that, and I support that. But one thing, if we're struggling ourselves, we really have to take a look at the long-term effects of what's going on. And so if maybe prior to all this, we were used to eating out once or twice a week, and then maybe somebody in the household has lost their job or been cut back on hours. It's hard to get out of that out of that routine. If you're used to eating out, but you have to get into the mindset. You got to treat eating out is a luxury. It's not a necessity. And so even though there's even though the restaurants are doing takeout, delivery, stuff like that, and it's easy to just go pick it up. You gotta be honest with yourself, and can you really afford that right now? And so that's one. The other thing, since we're all stuck at home really anyways, is using the internet instead of driving. And so with that, when I say that, I mean shopping online like Amazon, doing your Instacart or stuff like that. A lot of those services, offer free delivery, and so take advantage of that. If this goes, during any time, but I think it especially applies now because we have, this pandemic going on. But if you can avoid leaving your house, you're not spending money on gas, you're not putting wear and tear in your car, and also you're not putting yourself at risk of accidents and stuff like that. So take advantage of the technology that we have available to us. Use the internet.
And something that you shared all these benefits of like ordering, saving the gas and all that. Also, you're saving the time of not going grocery shopping. I mean, it takes a few minutes to put the order together, perhaps, but if that saves you 45 minutes or an hour, to me, it's definitely worth that tip to the driver to deliver it to me versus me having to go and get it myself.
Absolutely.
I was a huge fan of Instacart probably for the past 2 years. I swear by it. I don't go to the grocery store very often, but more people are finally jumping on the Instacart. And the time saving, the money savings, just the ease, and you're not putting yourself in danger.
Yep. Yeah. So a lot of benefits there, and so that's real, to me, that's an easy one, and all these things really they're designed to create small savings, but when you implement multiples of these, it all adds up. And so keep in mind, people are thinking, well, my car gets really good gas mileage, it's not really that, but you talk about over the course of a year, if
huge difference.
If you're really struggling. So that's one. The other thing is, while you're in the process of shopping online, make sure you're shopping at the discount or warehouse websites. They're all, overstock.com is one. If you're looking for like furniture, or there's tons. Maybe even search a secondhand on eBay and try and find deals. Those are all ways. Amazon is great because it's it has everything. It's convenient. They got the free 2-day shipping. But keep in mind, not everything on Amazon is cheaper than other places. They have some good deals on there, but if you're trying to save money, make sure you're broadening your horizons. Make sure you're shopping some other avenues. The next thing is,
and before you go to the next thing, for those of y'all listening in or watching us today, if you want or you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat box, and I'll make sure that I get Shawn to answer those for us. All right, so what's your next tip for us?
Absolutely, and just to point out, yeah, definitely, I want to keep this interactive, so please, guys, pick my brain. And then, so just kind of moving on to general expenses, ways, memberships. Memberships are one of those things that, oftentimes get forgot about. So, right now, like gym memberships, gyms are closed. Make sure, you're not, continuing to, pay for those if you're not able to use the service. Or club memberships, if you are a member of a country club or, something like that, do an audit of those memberships. And then even go down to like maybe your online subscriptions, like, Netflix, Hulu, all, if you're using all those, services, that's great. But, if you're struggling and if you're needing ways to save money, maybe limit yourself to one, of the online streaming services, or, if you had a membership at a country club, maybe think about putting that on hold for a short period of time until you get back on your feet. And also keep an eye on the small, dollar amount recurring charges. This is one area I see when I sit down and I do these audits with people, is like the 99 cents a month, subscription to some game on their iPhone, or, I get a crazy amount, but that's where these companies get you. They get you to with these small charges. There may be, $1 a month, or, a couple dollars every couple. And oftentimes those things get, forgotten about. They're not, individually, they don't seem like a big deal, but I sit down with people all the time where they might have, 10 or 15 of these coming out every month. And that's, not a huge chunk to change, but, 30 to 50 to, sometimes $100 a month that's coming out, where people don't even realize it because they're such small increments. So keep an eye on those. It's just with the ease of, technology and purchasing things, it's so easy to, sign up for these things and then just forget about them.
Yeah, I have. So I know, at least with the iPhone, I can go into my account, into my subscriptions, and see what active subscriptions that I have going on. Because sometimes you'll sign up for something for free, and then it's, in 30 days it'll charge you. So I try to be really careful if I sign up for something for free. I'll put a calendar reminder. I'll send myself an email scheduled for like a couple days before, so I can make sure I can cancel it unless I want it. And then when I'm in there, I'm usually trying to check and make sure, okay, I've canceled any of those subscriptions. I did share that with Amazon, if you're paying for Prime, which I love Amazon Prime, you got free 2-day shipping. So you do have to be careful with that, because not everything is free 2-day shipping. I know I found a really cute deal on something. I found it off of Amazon, and then it's cheaper on Amazon, but then you have to pay attention to the shipping. So I think sometimes, I went to order something from somewhere, and it was like $10 for shipping, and it was a $20 order. And I'm like, that's a lot. Amazon's kind of spoiled us, but we do want to support those local online places as well. But, when it comes to the money, how much is shipping?
Yeah. And the other thing, look at, all the benefits versus, what the expense is. And so like with Amazon Prime, for me, I signed up for that personally simply for the 2-day shipping. But they also, whether they have the Prime Video with the Prime Music, and so while personally I don't think that platform is the best out there, but if you already need to have it for the 2-day shipping, and things are tough, and you're maybe there's a loss of income. Maybe we get rid of the Netflix and the Disney Plus and the Hulu and stuff, and maybe we make that sound, maybe we don't have access to all the movies, but Amazon Prime does do a good job of providing a variety of material. I know they have books on there, so keep that in mind. There's definitely a lot of hidden benefits. I had Amazon Prime for probably 6 months before I even knew that I could watch movies, and they do have some stuff on there.
That's some decent stuff.
So just explore your benefits. If you're going to be paying a membership, make sure you're getting the full value of that. And so that kind of covers the general area of expenses and that I usually give for tips to people. And so if there aren't any questions, I'll just going to kind of keep going on because I want to make sure that I share as much with you guys as possible, and we have a short amount of time. The next area I cover is the financial, and so within that area, it also follows that budget that I touched on in the beginning. And so I'm not going to go over that again, but again, make sure that is part of your plan. A couple other things is on the financial is shopping your insurance, and so this could be health insurance, life insurance, homeowners auto, and I recommend doing it yearly because companies change, and I know with auto insurance, companies have a algorithm that they have in the year 2020 they might have a shortage of XYZ client, certain age group, whatever, that they need more of in order to diversify or spread their risk out. So if they need a married couple in their 20s, they're going to offer a discount to a married couple in their 20s to get them in order to diversify their risk profile. And so and it changes all the time. So whereas State Farm might be the best now, Geico might be or Progressive, it's always changing, and so on a yearly basis, and it doesn't take long. If you have my recommendation is to find a broker that you trust that has access to all of these companies, and just shop one place and get those quotes. The other thing is health insurance, and so health insurance is one of those areas that people spend an absorbent amount of money on, but don't always have to. And with people losing their jobs, losing their employee benefits, I gotta say that health insurance is probably one of the areas that you can save the most amount of money in everything that I'm going over here, because there are plans there. If you're healthy and you don't have any pre-existing conditions, there's private sector plans out there that are a tenth of the cost of what you might pay on from your group plan. And so don't be afraid to shop those benefits every year, even if you have coverage through your work. If your job doesn't completely pay for it, which a lot don't, a lot will cover a portion of it. I have seen several times where you can get a private sector plan cheaper than what your reduced rate is at the work, and a lot of times also better coverage. So definitely shop that health insurance. The other thing is make sure that you're getting rid of items that you don't need in your household. And so
what do you mean by that?
So, one of the things, people, I recommend, if you're, if you're struggling right now financially, a lot of, when we're working, everything's good, we have a tendency to collect stuff. And so, there's two ways that you can utilize this, to reduce or reduce your expenses. Or, if you have things in your house that you're not using, kids' toys that maybe get pushed in the corner, or clothes that haven't been worn in 2 years, or movies, old furniture that just doesn't get used, and you've been wanting to get rid of it for a while, but just haven't gotten around to it. Now's the time to really think about maybe getting rid of those things. And one way of doing that is to try and sell them. But another avenue that I recommend to people is you can also donate those items and receive a financial benefit. And what I mean by that is through a tax deduction. And so if you have clutter in your house, that's one area that you can use to maybe either earn some money up front by selling, or save some money on your taxes in the back end. So So me personally, about usually around Thanksgiving, about a week or two before Thanksgiving, I go through my closet. I go through everything, and any clothes that or just old or I don't use, and I will put those, and that goes into my Goodwill basket. And then I have a rule. Personally, I clothes are my thing. I like to have new clothes, but my rule, just to keep myself to a standard, is I don't ever buy anything new unless I get rid of it. I have a set space in my closet, and so I don't ever buy anything new unless I get rid of the old. And so I'm a bargain shopper. So Black Friday is my friend, and so usually about 2 weeks before Black Friday, I'll go through everything, do a Goodwill run, or donate to one of the local charities here, and that's and then so I get the tax deduction for that, and then I'm also bargain shopping on Black Friday, stuff like that. I'll go to the outlet mall. So right now obviously we're not close to things here, but if you are needing that's a way to save some money without really getting, you're not really losing anything. That's this is only this is stuff that you're already not using. So that covers a lot of the financial tips that I would recommend that don't really require any upfront expense. And so
Gotcha. So we probably have time for one more tip. If you got one more that you're dying to share with us.
Yeah. So the last one is when it comes to shopping. So the two biggest things where I see clients save is that shopping for the health insurance. That's the biggest one. The other one is planning your meals, and so this also kind of goes along with the shopping online, but having, to me, a meal planner where like you can have, a good way is get one of those big, calendars, and actually, I plan in, every meal throughout the week or 2 weeks that I'm going to shop for. Now, I'm not telling you, if you plan 2 weeks out and Wednesday you're supposed to have spaghetti, you don't have to necessarily eat spaghetti on that Wednesday. But the way you do this, the good thing, if you're shopping for 2 weeks, you have 2 weeks of meals planned out, so that when you're going to the store, you're getting exactly what you need for those 2 weeks. Now you can switch it up, once you already have the stuff, but you don't want to be switching it up while you're at the store. You don't want to be, going down the aisle, starving and picking up stuff that you think is, going to be really good. So that. I can tell you, you can probably, cut your grocery bill almost in half by planning out your meals, because, we're going to be much more efficient. The other thing is it allows you to be a lot healthier. If you're planning ahead of time and you're being strategic about your meal planning, you can shop for those items that are better for you, versus when you're at the store and you're hungry and you want something that you can buy and take home and cook and have it ready in 5 minutes. So plan out, and then also avoid processed foods, your prepackaged foods. Those are going to be more expensive. When you're right now, we're stuck at home. There's really no reason why we can't be cooking. Cook with your family. Cook with your spouse. If you're single, learn a new skill. If you don't know, if cooking isn't your forte, take the time to learn a new skill, and that will save you, huge amount of money. By not eating out, by not buying your processed foods, you're eating healthier. So that's really, and actually that's probably that's really the last big one. I do have this list. I will actually copy and maybe post this in the comments, or if I can get maybe an email list of the participants.
Yeah, if you want to, because some people are watching this here live, but some people will catch this on YouTube. So if you want to tell us how we can contact you to get that list, I can certainly send it to the folks that are on here now, but in the future, where can people contact you if they wanted to see the entire list?
Yeah, absolutely. So my email is info at ShawnEMay.com. So that's info and my first name, SHAWN, middle initial E, May, MAY.com. And so, you know, if you just shoot me over an email and say, hey, you know, I saw you live, or I watched your recording, you know, about budgeting and saving money, you know, I'd like to have that list. What I'll do is I'll send you the list with all these tips. I'll also send you a blank budget worksheet, you know, that, you know, I use, and, you know, the one that I use is very detailed. So, you know, it gives you an opportunity to really, you know, to get deep and answer some of those questions for yourself.
Cool. Well, any parting words that you have? We've got a lot of people on, but it's a quiet group. I find sometimes there's a lot of lurkers, and sometimes people won't shut up. This is a lot of lurkers that are enjoying the content. Any last tip that you want to leave us with before we sign off?
Yeah, I like to end everything, you know, with a positive kind of statement, and I think, you know, with everything going on, I know there's a lot of stress, and, you know, there's tension, you know, people are upset. They're not sure what's going to happen. You know, I'm a very, you know, kind of direct and to the point, and listen, you know, with everything's going on, you know, it is happening. You know, we can't, you know, unfortunately, there's really nothing we can do about it. So, yeah, the best thing, yeah, stay positive. You know, we will get through this. You know, don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, I see so many people that, you know, they're struggling, and kind of their pride gets in the way, and they don't know when to ask for help. And listen, there are so many people in the community that are willing. You know, they just need to know where to direct their efforts. And so, stay positive. If you're having, you know, if you are having, you know, trouble, you know, just let somebody know. And that's really, it's really what I'd like to, you know, close with. I think, you know, I thank everybody for hopping on here. Tiffany, thank you for having me. And I hope I provided some value to the audience.
Thanks everybody for coming out today. You can see a replay of this on my YouTube channel. Give me a couple days to get it up. Just under Tiffanie Kellog on YouTube, and we have several other videos there if you want to check those out. Thank you so much for your tip, Shawn. Y'all be sure to email him, and have an amazing day. Bye, y'all.